I've pushed a lot of boundaries. At some point, I remember I was the third Black African woman to graduate from emergency medicine when I did graduate. Take time to find things that give you energy.
Yeah.
Take time to find things that give you joy. Take time to find things that really just rejuvenate you. Then you never have to work a day in your life. Empowerment, I think, is about showing up, not just for others, but for yourself as well. I do think we're a little bit more competitive than all of the other migrant races.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at other migrant races, they're just doing well together. They're buying property together. They're doing business together.
Yeah.
You know, but my sister, if I'm trying to do business with them or if I'm trying to empower them, it is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
African, I'm strong, I'm worthy, I'm respected, I'm loved, and I belong. And I definitely deserve every single thing that's coming to me.
What is Mrs. Africa Island?
Hello, Northwest Podcast. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Dr. Dineo Moila-Murphy. Some people call me Queen D. Some people call me Dr. D. Of course, I wear many, many hats. I'm proud to be a physician in this county in Letterkenny. But also when I'm not doing that, I am the CEO and founder of Mrs. Africa Island, or MMAI. And I'm also the CEO and founder of Life Queen. So I'm super excited here for all of the questions today. You can ask anything.
Welcome to Northwest Podcast, powered by Digital Creative Studio. Each week, we bring you inspiring conversations with entrepreneurs, creatives, community leaders, and change makers from Donegal and beyond. Please subscribe to our channel and let's dive into it. Hello, Quinty.
Hello, Mr. Gogre. Fancy meeting you here in this situation. I'm used to working with you on another aspect, but I'm so happy to be here. And can I start by saying I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much.
That you're doing this for the people of Northwest.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for me, and I'm very pleased to have you on my podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you invited me today. I thought I would never get an invite, but hey, here we are.
It will never happen, you know. So, Dr. Dineo, we're gonna start by this question. Can you take us back to where it all began? Who was Dr. Dineo before? No.
Before she was a doctor.
The question is, who was Dineo before the doctor, before the queen, before the CEO of Mrs. Africa Island?
Oh my gosh. You're opening a can of worms because, you know, we have to think long back. By looking at me, people they cannot tell what age I am, but I've been around for a very long time. But Dineo Moila is a young girl from South Africa, village girl in the northwest of South Africa. You know, humble beginnings, but very, very strong family units, very strong ties to the surroundings and the neighbors and basically Africa. And I think that's where I got really to get the personality that I am today. I was one of those good girls. I loved school. The teachers loved me as well because I finished my homework on time. I was really participating in schoolwork. And I think I knew very early that I'm going to go far. I was a bit of a gifted child. I was a bit of a genius child. And I think I knew that I'm going to be something huge one day. So I got the encouragement of my teachers, my friends, my neighbors, and I think family as well. They really believed in me. And I just never looked back. So, and that's what I want people to know. I think that drive that you have inside of you, even when you are young, you must really believe in it and you need to keep pushing. So that's me. So humble beginnings, ended up leaving for college, you know, went into Pretoria and Cape Town and all of that. And the rest is history. Yeah.
So tell me, what aspect of South African upbringing have stayed with you the most, even here in Donegal?
Yeah. You know what? When I was young, so I finished school when I was really young. I was doing my school leaving when I was 16 years old. And most children will do their school leaving at the age of 18. So which means I was always the youngest in class. Because I was a bit of a gifted child, I got a lot of scholarships and bursaries to go study outside the village. The belief was if you go to international schools, if you go to Model C schools, it's probably better. And to my dismay, my parents said, no, you're not leaving. And I was very angry with my parents for a very long time. But I know why now, looking back, I know why they did it. They said, no, you need to live in the village. You need to learn your heritage. You need to learn your culture. You need to be very, very stoic in your own culture before you go outside.
Yeah.
My father used to say, you're going to go far. You're going to be going overseas. You're going to be working outside the village. So don't rush. And I think by them doing that, I think it sort of forced me to really just learn about my culture, who I am, and what it means to be a Botswana woman in South Africa. And of course, when I went to college and medical school and all of that, I try to forget it a little bit. I think we do that as African children. When you live in your village, you know, you want to be like the city girls and the city boys. You know, you want to speak a certain way. You want the twang as well. And you want to get rid of that village part of yourself. But I'm so glad that I reignited that village girl again. I found it again. And I think what made me find it again is meeting people from all over the world. Meeting friends and colleagues from, you know, Germany, out of South Africa, Holland, Europe. I think it forced me to really re-look at where I come from again. And now living in Ireland, oh my gosh, now every day I'm looking to be more African. I don't think I could be more African than now, but I live Africa in every single day, in the stuff that I have in my house, the things that I wear, the language that I speak, the food that I eat. And it's made me a better, enriched person. Can
you tell me, was there a moment when you realized your voice could lead and uplift others?
Look, I grew up with a mother who just always loved people. She just always loved the community around her. At the time, you know, we didn't call it community work. I just knew that she, you know, it wasn't enough for her to just go do her 9 to 5 and come back home. She always had something to do on the weekends. She always had somebody that she was helping out, people she was donating clothes to. I didn't understand what it was at the time, and I didn't realize that I'm actually taking it all in. I think it's very much got to do with why I decided to go into the field that I went into. I became a doctor, and I decided I want to be sort of a primary level doctor because I wanted to connect with people really at a primary level. I've always known that I'm an empath. I've always known that I love people. I've always known that I always try to put people first, sometimes a little bit too much, even to your own detriment. But I think with the career that I chose, I've always known that I'll always somehow end up doing some sort of community work.
So what does it mean to you as a Black African woman to live and lead from a rural part of Ireland?
Well, I don't know if I'm leading and living. All I know is I try every single day to do the best possible for myself, my community. I try to uplift the voices of people that cannot speak for themselves. I try every single time I'm given the opportunity to try and be a good ally, to be a good advocate. And I'm also conscious sometimes that I may not be the best person to sort of be regarded as a migrant or somebody living in rural Ireland. Somebody could easily come and say, oh, but you came here as a doctor. They could easily say, oh, but you came here on a critical skills visa. It's very different from somebody who comes in as a refugee. It's very different from somebody who comes in and lives in a protected IPES community. So I'm very conscious of that. And I think it's important also with the people that represent us that we can't just have one voice representing all Africans. But what I'm going to try to do is to try and represent a portion of Africa that I resonate with. And then more than anything, try to connect with the people on the ground, with the community on the ground to see how I'm able to represent them first. I am conscious of the fact that I'm in a little bit of a privileged position. Maybe not privileged as, you know, Irish local counterparts, but I am able to influence certain decisions. I do have, you know, certain position in the community. And I think I hold that with pride. And I would like to think I really represent my people well, but I'm also always willing to listen to what my people really want because I don't know all the answers. But I'm learning every day. I'm improving myself every day. I've just done a certificate in community practice and politics recently in ATU. And the reason I did that is even though I do community work already, I need to learn the methods. I need to learn the theory because there's definitely a method to the madness, and I need to make sure that I know that I'm doing the right thing.
So you're willing to get into politics?
I wouldn't call it politics per se. Let's call it social development. I think social and community development, because I don't know if I could be a politician, but I think with my medical career, I think with my social and community involvement, I do think I have a lot to offer in terms of changing culture, in terms of changing political influence. You don't necessarily have to be in a political office, but there's definitely aspects of your strengths that you can use to maybe just bring forth the views of people who are not really represented. Yeah.
Let's just talk about the career, the medical career that you just mentioned.
Yes.
Dr. Dineo, how do you become a doctor? Is there any aspect of your life that makes you make that decision that, okay, now I'm gonna be a doctor because of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I grew up in a generation where, as Black Africans, if you were somehow a little bit smart in school or you did well in school, I think there are very limited things that you could do, especially in South Africa at the time. I mean, I grew up in apartheid South Africa. So you couldn't just wake up and say, I'm going to be a social media influencer. You couldn't just say, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Where are you going to do that? So I think I grew up in an era where you could only be a doctor, an engineer, an accountant, a lawyer, you know, and I think all of us were drawn into those positions. I remember even when I did career development in school, or when I did my research, for me, those were the only things that I thought I could do. If somebody told me to go back now, 15, 20 years ago to choose if I could do anything else, I probably would have been doing Miss Africa Island years ago. But I think it helped that I loved books. It helped that I love schools, and I've got a gift and an amazing ability to sort of just absorb whatever that I'm reading or whatever I'm listening to. And I've got a curiosity about things, technology, and I've got a passion for people. So, it was easy enough getting my primary degree, and it also gave me an opportunity to sort of just explore what kind of medicine I wanted to practice. So, it's been a long way coming. I mean, I studied, I think I've done more than 14 years of training to get to being a specialist emergency physician. And I think I've pushed a lot of boundaries. At some point, I remember I was the third Black African woman to graduate from emergency medicine when I did graduate. So for me, it's always been not just about me. I've always known that whatever space I'm in, I'm going to be pushing boundaries. And I think that's what pushed me. And that's what kept me going with medicine all the way even here to Ireland.
That's amazing. So you wear too many crowns. You are a doctor, founder, queens, community builder. What keeps you grounded through it all?
Yes. So I get asked that question a lot. I get asked that question by a lot of young people. I get asked that question by a lot of my junior doctors, because they just see you everywhere. Oh my gosh, now you're on social media, now you're traveling, now you're doing this, now you're at a political
flying
speech.
everywhere.
I know. And the answer I give to everyone, and all of us have to do it, take time to find things that give you energy. Take time to find things that give you joy. Take time to find things that really just rejuvenate you. Then you never have to work a day in your life. So for me, I feel like the doctor things, or being a medical doctor, it's a little bit hard. I'm an emergency physician. It's tough work. It's not easy work. You're meeting people at the worst days of their lives. You are talking to families who are in pain. You're talking to partners who are worried about their partner's life. So it can be a little bit exhausting. And I think what I have found over the years is things like the podcasting, Life Queens, and Miss Africa Island, and the community work. I find that it's my medicine. So that's my outlet. When I leave the department and I'm really tired and I'm really heartbroken because I couldn't save somebody's life, I know that by doing the other projects that I'm doing, I'm reaching other people through different forums. And even if I'm doing it at 7 p.m. at night, or I'm catching a flight at 10 p.m. at night, it never feels like work. If anything, it just gives me more energy. So find those parts of yourself that really give you that energy. Even the people around you, find the people around you that energize you. And that's the secret. And then you can do it all. And also, Coco, what I would like to say is we are not, we're not single-faceted human beings.
Yeah.
There's so much to us as human beings. There's so much to our personalities. There's so much to what we're able to do. And I am comfortable and happy enough that I've reached a part of my life where I can be all of the beautiful blooms of my life, and I enjoy all of them at different parts of my life.
You are a woman of empowerment.
Thank you so much.
How do you define empowerment today, especially in the context of black women in Ireland?
Yeah, so look, empowerment, I think, is about showing up, not just for others, but for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Because I find sometimes, especially as women, we want to empower. Everybody's talking empowerment, but empowerment starts from inside. You need to be so energized with what you do. You need to be so pumped up to do what you do. You need to be able to be comfortable enough to fill your own cup with things that make you whole. And then that way you're able to pour into others. So that's where empowerment stops. And for me, it's even grown to empowerment also just means recognizing your limitations as well. Because sometimes as empowered people, we don't want to stop. You want to empower every day, every weekend, every month. And it's something that I needed to curb in my life as well. You empower so much that you are so exhausted yourself. So empowerment itself also means being able to recognize that actually I need a little bit of rest.
Yeah.
Actually, I need a little bit of time to myself. I need a little bit of rejuvenation so that I can actually be stronger for other people. So that's the first part as well. If you're not empowered, you cannot empower somebody else. And then, of course, I think maybe just engaging others and try to use all of the skills, all of the lessons that you've learned, all of the the abilities that you've gained from your career over the years to be able to influence other people as well. And it could be as easy as leaving the door open for the next Black woman to come in. It could be as easy as writing a little reference for somebody who's looking for a career move and you're able to do that for them. It could be as easy as plugging somebody. Let's say, Coco is starting a new podcast. I've got a podcast called Life Queens. Hey, everybody, check out Coco's new podcast. It's called Northwest Podcast. That's empowerment to me, because there's no limitation to empowerment. And you cannot run out of your own strength by empowering others. If anything, you get more empowered by empowering other people. Yeah.
So what challenges have you faced in creating space where African women feel seen and celebrated?
Yes. Yeah. So I think as Africans are made of a very different material. I think the stuff that we have gone through ourselves as Africans, as African women, the limitations and the challenges that we have faced in the past, I think it makes it difficult sometimes to be able to access people at a point where they're ready. I think there's still a lot of barriers with Africans about really uniting and really coming together and forming something beautiful. I do think we're a little bit more competitive than all of the other migrant races. If you look at other migrant races, they're just doing well together. They're buying property together. They're doing business together. But my sister, if I'm trying to do business with them or if I'm trying to empower them, it is very, very difficult. So it's not easy now to sort of open your heart up and be trustful and try to help. And that's what I encourage my queens at Miss Africa Island all the time. When I talk to them, I say to them, Miss Africa Island is not even, it's not even a competition. It is a sisterhood. It's a network forum. It's a platform. And I'm hoping that they're realizing that by doing this Miss Africa Island pageant, it's not really about the crown, but I am actively actually creating pathways, forums, platforms for Black African women to come and work together and network together without competition. Because there isn't a limit to the amount of resources that's available for migrant people here in this country. But the mistake we make is we want to go behind each other's backs and individually go ask for €1,000, €1,000. Imagine if we came together as a collective and said, okay, we are the Northwest women of, migrants women. and then we go for funding together. We'll get so much more.
So much more, yeah.
But it's fine. It's an African disease. I think we try to cure it one event at a time, one empowerment platform at a time. But I'm hopeful because I see the mentality of young women is a little bit different from the older ones. So I'm very hopeful that one day we'll be like other migrants as well. We'll begin to build together. We're actually stronger, way stronger together. Definitely. We don't even know it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And this is a good transition to talk about Mrs. Africa Island.
Yes, let's talk about it. So go on.
What is Mrs. Africa Island?
Yeah, Miss Africa Island. You know, every time, every day, something new happens. Something new develops. I'm blown away by what Mrs. Africa Island has become. It started off as a dream. After my own pageant journey in the UK, when I came back and I said, I would like a forum of empowerment for young women living in Ireland of Afro-Irish origin.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of forums that I found, but I didn't find anything to the quality that I wanted to, to engage. And I decided, you know what, I am going to start my own Miss Africa Island. This was a dream years ago. And I didn't think it was actually going to manifest so quickly. And it took me quite a while to actually establish it because, I'm imposter syndrome. Am I ready? Am I going to be able to do it? Am I really a pageant coach? But as soon as we set it off, I believe that it's something magical. It's something that is led by a higher power.
Yeah.
Because there's no way something that just started last year, October, could blow up into something this big. Yeah. And I feel like all of the doors that are knocked on, they magically open. I feel like we are amazed that we have a beautiful group of young women for the first year of the pageant. We got 13 finalists.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah.
I remember somewhere in February, and I was talking to my team, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I wonder now if you're gonna have enough contestants." And we were worrying, and I just changed my energy. I changed my frequency. I said, this is gonna work. This is a good thing. If you had a daughter, you'd want the daughter to join this forum. So it's an empowerment forum for young Afro-Irish women living in Ireland, both the Republic and Northern Ireland, between the age of 18 and 35.
Yeah.
And the beauty about it is the young queens do not have to have pageantry experience. They don't have to have modeled before. Doesn't matter if they've got children or no children. Doesn't matter if they're married or not. Height, weight, none of that matters. So essentially what you're doing is you're saying everybody can come.
Yeah.
As long as you have a positive mindset. And what we've done so far, oh my God, we've just come back from the boot camp this past weekend and just watching those young women, listening to their stories, listening to how empowered they are, listening to now the kind of things that they want to do even beyond the crowning. I'm just amazed. Sometimes I just sit back, I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's how I know, Goku, I'm not doing it. I'm not in charge of Miss Africa Island. There's God, there's Allah, there's the higher power, there's somebody guiding it. Because it's just too magical to be made by a human being. But I'm absolutely grateful that I'm able to do that for young Afro-Irish women today at this point where there's a whole lot of voices and noises telling them that they don't belong here. There's a lot of voices telling them that they need to go back home and they have no business being here. And I am so glad that I waited a little bit longer to start Miss Africa Island, because those young women need somebody for them today telling them you belong.
Yeah.
This is your land, but you're also African and you also can do anything you can do.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's Miss Africa Island. I can't wait to see where it's going to go, but it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up beyond our imagination, and I'm ready for it to blow up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Africa Island and not Miss Africa Island. What's the difference between both? Because there might be confusion sometimes.
There might, and and there are different forums as well doing what we do, something similar to what we do. Traditionally, pageantry, especially among Africans, it's usually meant for younger women. It's usually meant for unmarried women. It's usually meant for women who don't have children yet, Which means then the minute you sort of transition into very important aspects of your life, now you can't participate. So the reason we made it the Miss Mrs. Africa Island, we are demonstrating that we are accepting both the married people, the non-married people. We're accepting, somebody could be 18 or somebody could be 32 with the whole family. And I think that's very important. It's very inclusive, it's very diverse, it's very broad, because you also want a combination of, people from the age of 18 to 35 to be able to influence each other. And I see it happening already at the empowerment program. You can just see how they're gelling together through different ages. So we are definitely Mrs. Africa Island, which is not similar to Miss Africa Island at all. Our concepts are different, our values are different, our missions and visions are different, and even the way we have run this empowerment program, completely different. We don't run like a pageant. And I say to people, I'm not a pageant competition. I'm not a pageant competition at all. I'm an empowerment forum or an empowerment platform.
Yeah. What specific gap were you trying to fill when you were creating MMAI?
I think for me, I really benefited from pageantry when I was part of Miss Africa UK. I always say to people, I joined that forum. I was already a doctor. I was already a specialist. Most people would think, but Queen D doesn't really need to be empowered anymore, which is important.
Yeah.
You can never say somebody's too empowered or over empowered. You can always be empowered at any aspect of your life. So I saw the tools and the lessons that I got from pageantry, and somehow they unleashed something within me. They unleashed certain talents that I had within me that I didn't know I had. I didn't realize that I'm actually a really good public speaker, even though I was speaking to patients all the time. I didn't realize that actually I was very eloquent in terms of podcasting, and I really cared about people's stories, and I had a knack for interviews. I had a knack for, speaking at events and advocating for others. And I think it just unleashed all of those talents. And I needed young women here in Ireland to have that experience, because I had to go all the way to Manchester to do that, because there was nothing in Donegal or nothing in Ireland. And, even though there were sort of other pageant platforms who were doing it, I really wanted to make it a premium empowerment program. I want a premium brand. That's why when I organize the boot camps and the trips and the presents and everything, I want to make sure that our African children are experiencing premium treatment. I don't want them to think, okay, my God, now I'm going to lose all my money. I'm going to go and we're not going to eat all day. I want them to experience luxury. And I want them to know that that's what they deserve. I want them to aspire to that luxury. I want them to know that that's within reach for them as well in their personal life, in their work life. And if I'm able to provide that for them, I think that's at least a trip half gone. Yeah.
So what are some of the misconceptions that people are still having about Mrs. Africa Island?
Yeah, I think any pageantry in inverted commas, even me, I had those misconceptions. I think everybody thinks it's all about sashes and tiaras and crowns. It's all about the smiles. It's all about the walking in heels. But I think sometimes what we fail to demonstrate is the work that goes on behind. So other than going on road trips and having beautiful pictures and screaming, we are Miss Africa Island, there's actually a lot happening in the background. There's a lot of Zoom masterclasses on important topics such as women in tech, women in business, financial literacy. And yes, we mix it up with other, pageant-related topics such as how to dress for success, social media, how to be a brand ambassador. But at the core of it all, it's about community work and charity. At the core of it all, every single queen undergoing an empowerment program, it doesn't matter which one it is. It's about using your voice, using your opportunity, using your sash to uplift the voice of people who cannot be, speak for themselves. So the queens at the end of the day, yes, smile, wave, appear, be on social media or whatever, but you need to be authentic about really wanting to help people. You can't be a pageant queen and not want to help people. And if you are that kind of pageant queen, we pick up on your personality very quickly and you don't last because the exterior things, the external things are very temporary. But if you really have a passion for the people, a passion for the community, you stay pageant queen forever. I'm not going to tell you how old I am now, but I feel like I'm still going to be a pageant queen forever because I've got the community at the core of my beliefs.
Yeah. Can you please walk us through the journeys with the contestant?
Sorry, what's the question?
What are some of the activities we are doing with the contestants?
Yeah. So besides the Zoom masterclasses, they have to be proficient as brand ambassadors.
Okay.
Not just for themselves, but for Mrs. Africa Island as well. As soon as you sign up to be a finalist at MAI, you need to identify that you are part of a community, you are part of a brand, and you actually represent MAI. Yeah. So the way you appear in public, the way you show up at events, the way you make your speeches, the way you show up at podcasts, you need to be mindful of the fact that you're not just, an 18-year-old anymore. You are a seasoned 18-year-old. You are an empowered 18-year-old. You need to be able to speak a certain way. You need to be able to dress a certain way. Yeah. You need to be able to represent yourself a certain way. So it's about personal brand ambassadorship as well as brand ambassadorship for MAI. Because you could be a queen. If you are a queen tomorrow, I need to be sure that you can go to a TV program and speak eloquently about what MAI is, right? Yeah. So that's one of the, so brand ambassadorship is important. I think in this era of social media, all of us need to be conscious of how to use social media to our advantage. So the last thing you want as a MAI finalist is be found in a compromised position with a sash, with people snapping pictures of you. So you need to be mindful of where you are at all times, and it sort of just forces you to be a discerning human being about the decisions that you make, right? Yeah. And also the way you represent yourself on social media, you never know who's watching. There could be a brand looking to work with you. There could be a political leader looking to work with you. There could be somebody doing a charity who's interested in the way you present yourself. So that's the social media used to your own advantage, and it'll work even beyond the crowning. Yeah. I think that, the biggest thing for me, charity and community work. And I say to the queens, it's not about the queen who raises the most money. Yes, money is important, money is good. But now in the era of social media and everything, sometimes you could just be the face of a certain community project, the face of a certain charity. So representation in that way, I think that's what matters, to the point where we actually have a prize and a crown for Miss Charity at MAI, because it's that important to us, right? And of course, the other things that are happening in the background, I already mentioned that they're learning about business, financial literacy. I'm very excited about a lady who's coming to speak to us from See Her Elected. She's specifically looking for women and migrants from rural communities to get into politics. It's about challenging these young queens to say, have you actually looked around to see how many politicians are in your area? How many TDs are women? How many of them are Black Africans? So, if somebody was maybe thinking about one day, maybe I could want to be a counselor, we're giving them the tools on how to join those forums, how to develop yourself, how to work hand in hand with the likes of Helen Obu, the counselors that are there already, to maybe prepare their careers for the next 5-10 years. So hopefully at MAI, maybe we might get a few counselors, a few TDs. You never know, but you need to plant the seed. I feel like we're planting all of those seeds. So that's just very few of the projects that we're doing. But of course, the queens love fashion. They're all about fashion. They're always wanting to compete about who can wear the highest heels. They do love to twirl. They like to walk. They're a very, very exciting bunch of young women. Hanging around them is always fun. It's always fun, and it just keeps me young and on my toes. You talk a lot about charity, and you have done too many activities with the Bad Club in Terry. So what's the relationship between Mrs. Africa Island and the Bad Club? So usually what happens with any pageant, obviously there needs to be a dedicated official charity. And when I was looking to see who we can affiliate with or who we can support, I just happened, and that's why I think you need to be open to the power of meaningful connections. You don't meet people just by pure mistake. There's always a reason why you meet people. So I got introduced to the mayor of Derry, the outgoing mayor of Denny, Lillian Sinoiba, and she had chosen a charity of a mayoral year as well called Bad Club. And she said, come with me, come visit me, come see what this charity is all about. And it's basically a charity that takes care of youth on the sort of autism spectrum. Some of them are disabled, and it gives them an opportunity to just be youth. You literally have people taking care of them after school, after class, and they have the opportunity to independently develop certain skills with their peers, play soccer when they hadn't played soccer before, have little birthday parties with peers, even though they hadn't had birthday parties before. And the last time when I was talking to the manager, Gavin Melly, he was organizing a ferry trip. They were going all the way to Scotland to participate in a soccer competition with this, group of guys, which is something they would never have done before. So it's all about highlighting the voices of people who are disabled and making sure that they are treated like human beings.
Exactly.
You look away from their different ability. I don't want to say disability. Their different ability, and actually look at what they're able to do. How am I able to positively enhance, their life experience with the limitations that they have? So we're very, very happy that the Bat Lab is a chosen charity for May 2025. We've had the opportunity to visit them when we were in Derry. We had the opportunity to go do a fashion show with the queens to raise money for them. And I'm happy that the manager, Gavin, is actually going to be one of the judges at the finale. He's very passionate about charity. He's also got a lot of pageantry experience. So that's why I said meaningful connections, but very happy to be learning so much from the Bat Lab and encouraged by these children are able to do despite their different abilities.
Yeah. The grand finale is on 30th
of August. Oh, please don't remind me.
And promises to be powerful.
Oh, yes.
What kind of energy should people expect?
Oh my God. Sometimes when I sit in my Zen room and I'm manifesting and I'm just going through visions, I am gobsmacked. I'm super excited, sometimes even scared of how gorgeous it's going to be. First of all, we've got an iconic venue. We've got a beautiful venue called the Johnstown Estate in County Meath. It's an experience. It's not just a hotel. It's not just an estate. So the minute you drive into the Johnstown, you are just transported into sort of Georgian building with a bit of flair. And we've made the theme culture glam, African culture glam. So we want people to come clad in their beautiful, bright African colors, but make it super glamorous. We've got a venue. So the venue is going to be separate from the rest of the hotel. And we've got a dedicated place there with a little bit of a garden. There's a little bit of a fountain as you come in. There's a nice sort of bar area. The stage is going to be set. It's going to be fantastic. And of course, with the fee that you pay for the finale, it includes a 4-course meal and a drink and a whole experience. And every time I hear the young queens talking about the finale and they give us hints of what they're going to be wearing and what they're going to be doing, it's exciting every day. It's going to be magical. I think it's going to be the most magical pageant that has ever been seen in Ireland before. And I don't say that lightly. But more than anything, it's more than just the queens. I think I want beautiful sponsorship. I want collaborations. I want networking. So I want the who's of Ireland to come and make iconic memories together, to come and network together, to come and form business connections together. I want people leaving the Johnstown saying, what a beautiful experience, what a beautiful show. But I've met so many people and I'm looking forward to mingling with a lot more people. Yeah, so it's going to be magical, powerful.
If Mike could speak as a person, what would she say to an African woman in today?
So this is me impersonating I would say I'm African, I'm strong, I'm worthy, I'm respected, I'm loved, and I belong. I belong here. I belong to be in these spaces. I belong here. I deserve to carve space in areas that are not made for us before. And I definitely deserve every single thing that's coming to me. That's what I would say.
So, True Life Queens, you're holding a space for honest, powerful conversations with women. What's the most surprising or touching thing a guest ever shared on that platform?
Yeah, so That's actually a very interesting question, because there've been a lot of interesting moments. And I think in podcasting, you think you're gonna meet people. There's gonna be a bit of laughter. There's gonna be some jokes. But sometimes, without any warning, you see somebody open up fully, and they share their innermost secrets. They share their deepest, darkest fears. And usually, when it happens, I think it's one, beautiful to see that that person is empowered enough to share that. But also, I think as a podcaster as well, it scares me so much, because I realize, oh my God, this is social media. This person is opening themselves up to all of this critique. But I think I've heard very, very, very scary stories of where people have been. We've had women coming from abusive relationships. We've had people sharing aspects about the health. So, it's always surprising to hear all of those things, especially in such a vulnerable space.
Yeah. So tell me, what does belonging feel like to you now after all these years in Ireland?
Look, I mean, I think it's something that we all really should experience. And it doesn't come automatically, right? It feels good. I live in Ireland. I have a family here of sort of Afro-Irish mix. I'm married here to an Irishman. So I feel like I'm fully integrated into the Irish culture. More than anything, not just at home, even at work. I am intermingled and completely connected to the people that I work with. It doesn't come without work. And that's the challenge now that I've started giving to everyone that I meet. That's the challenge that I give to my young queens at Miss Africa Ireland. When you land in this country, don't hide yourself in your little corner and think everything is going to be fine. Don't just hide among migrant people that look like you. You've come to a foreign country. Make the effort to go out and see what makes Ireland so great. Make the effort to go out to join a soccer club, to go join a running club, to look around you. There may be a ladies or a men's club doing sewing or baking or whatever. So make an effort to actually go, because people are very curious about new people. And what I've found is if you get to a new town or a new city and you just keep to yourself, that's what makes people a little bit, hesitant. That's what makes people a little bit wary of you. So it is our responsibility as migrants in this country. When you come here, go out to your neighbor, go out to school and greet, other mothers at your child's school and try to make an effort. And even me, I used to be guilty of it. If I had a party, I'll just be inviting my just South African friends. And then later on, I'm like, oh, okay, let me invite people from other African countries as well. But I was oblivious to the fact that we were actively not inviting Irish people or Polish people or other Eastern, European people. So we need to get along. We need to get along for the sake of our children, because they're mixing at school. And then they come home and there's this big divide.
Exactly.
So for me, I think I'm very, very happy that I came at the right time. I managed to meet the right people. And I think it's got to do with my personality as well. And I feel fully integrated. And I feel like I always said Ireland is my spirit country. And I really meant that, because I got a chance to experience both, Africa and Ireland. And that's why I wanted to do Miss Africa Ireland, because I want a celebration of both. And that's what I say to the queens all the time. It's not just about celebrating Africa. It's about celebrating your two existences.
And how do you keep African culture alive in your everyday life?
Oh, man. I actually think I'm more African now living in Ireland than I did in South Africa.
South Africa?
Yes.
Serious?
Listen, I mean, if you come to my house, first of all, if you drive past my house, you're not wondering whose house it is. A funny story, my husband and I were just sitting outside doing the garden the other day, and I saw a big truck just wait outside, and they were honking, and they reversed into our yard. And these two African men came out and they said, oh my gosh, we always drive past your house and we see this sign, Kayalicha. We've been wondering who's this Kayalicha woman. We needed to stop today to see these Kayalicha people. So, that's the name of my house. It's branded Kayalicha because it means new home. Even when you walk into my house, even if you don't know I live there, an African woman lives there. You can see the art pieces, you can see my earrings, you can see my colorful clothes, you can see the drums, you can see Africa everywhere. And I wake up every morning and I'm transported to a piece of Africa that I love. And, every time I'm home, I always pick up pieces. I come back with anything at all, clothes, ornaments, stuff to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm African more. I'm wondering 10 years from now what's going to happen. Maybe I'm going to live in an African hut there where I live. But yeah, I think being away from home just makes you aware, more aware of who you are.
Yeah. If you could write a letter to your younger self at 15, what would you say?
Sure. Okay. That's deep. That's actually very, very deep. Because I was a different person at 15. I was a genius kid, but I think I was very troubled in many ways as well. I was very conflicted as a young girl. So what I would say to 15-year-old Dineo is I would say, you're actually going to be okay. You're going to do well. You are on the right path. You're not behind. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. And more than anything, I would say to her, look up. You are beautiful. You are really strong. And more than anything, I would say you are worthy. You are worthy. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. Your worth is inside of you. Your worth is inherent. And always remember that. That's what I would say. And I would say, you know what, girl, just wear that dress. Wear that dress. Because I was a bit of a tomboy. I didn't want my body to be shown. I was very self-conscious. And now when I look at the pictures, I'm like, oh my God, actually, I was pretty good. So I'll say, yeah, wear that dress. And your worth is with you all the time.
All right, we're getting into the last session of this podcast, which I call a quick fire round. So I have two propositions for you. Okay. And then you choose the one that you prefer.
Right.
Okay, but this time you look straight in your camera.
Okay.
Which is the Crown or Stereoscope?
Stereoscope.
Zoom Masterclass or Village Fire Church?
A village, absolutely.
Ankara or Scrubs?
Ankara.
Leading or listening?
Leading.
Barefoot on the motherland or heels at the grand final?
Oh,
the
no,
grand final,
that's unfair. Both.
Voice note or handwritten letter?
Handwritten letter, please.
Book or microphone?
Book.
Pageant or purpose?
Both.
But you need to choose one.
Okay, purpose.
All right, thank you very much. Quindi, thank you very much to join me, to join us on our podcast. And if you have a last word that you would like to leave us with.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. Every time I'm on a podcast, which I'm not running, it gives me time to reflect. And it always makes me a little vulnerable because I usually don't get time to speak about myself. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the job that you are doing for the people of Donegal, of the Northwest in general. These are stories that need to be told through our own voices. So you're doing God's work. And my parting word is my favorite quote. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Let's continue to rise in our power. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.